Everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here, and yeah, this is going to be the last Zendikar Rising draft I maybe ever do in my entire life. Yeah, it's totally possible. This could be the last one. Tomorrow, Kaldheim is going to be released, and I'll be doing a lot of those drafts, brand new format, so those are fun to explore. But I thought I'd give Zendikar Rising a proper send-off, talk about some of the pros and cons, my personal reflections on the format. So briefly, I'll just go through a couple of the things that I think worked really well in Zendikar Rising. First and foremost, the spell lands. I thought they were really great design and great execution. They really added a lot to deck making decisions and drafting decisions. Often I find myself deciding, well, spell lands auto include in the deck, so that automatically puts them up here, but there is another playable card in here, so which one do I want? That was a fun decision to have to make, and I found them to really help mitigate flood and screw, both of which aren't particularly fun aspects of any Magic game. So I would be perfectly content with seeing more spell lands in the future, and I hope that they stick with this design. I think it worked really well. It was a great idea. Second thing that I think was designed well, but didn't quite work as well as I was hoping, was the party mechanic. I think the design of the party mechanic was great. The idea of it was great. You can play a mix of classes, a mix of tribes, and still put together a cohesive, good deck. The only problem I had with Party was that it still kind of felt limited. Even at the end of every draft deck, you could still have a good party deck and a bad party deck. So even if you were, at first you thought you were in Clerics, then all of a sudden you're in Party, it didn't always work out. And there were still quite a few cards that weren't that great unless you had a powerful party deck. Like Nimble Trap Finder, hugely good if you have a full party. If you don't, it's playable. Not terribly exciting, though, especially at rare. But probably had to be rare because of the full party effect. I guess I understand that. So I think those were the two major parts about this format that I enjoyed were spell lands and the idea of party, although I don't think party worked as well as I thought it was going to when it was first spoiled. Wasn't as fun as I first thought it was going to be. This is all personal reflections. Maybe your experiences with this format may have been completely different. There were some bad aspects. Mostly, I didn't like how Ruin Crab turned out. Unfortunately, Ruin Crab, and what's interesting is I actually like the idea of a mill strategy in a format again. I thought I liked it at least, but then I started playing Ruin Crab and realized, oh geez, this isn't very fun. This one drop is destroying me. And I got milled out by their one drop. Yeah. So Ruin Crab, a bit of a miss for me. Roost of Drakes turned out to be exceptionally strong. I guess not a feel bad, but exceptionally strong card. And that's another thing. It's the formats that I like, I've found, I want to play cards that are good everywhere. And this format, ZR, tended to have a lot of cards, at least from what I felt like, that didn't feel good outside of their kind of specific archetype. Like, Roost of Drakes is not really a card that's all that good if you're not playing a lot of kicker. That should be obvious. But that's just one example. Let's look at some more. Stuff like Expedition Skulker, basically just a 2-mana 2/2 outside of its archetype. Expedition Healer, 2-mana 2/2 Vigilance outside of its archetype. And you're like, well, 2-mana 2/2 Vigilance can't be bad, can it? It wasn't that good. Outside of Clerics, it just wasn't that good. And kind of all of the cards that didn't have any tribe, I feel like they really got the short end of the stick, like McKindy Ox and Prowling Felidar, and some of these cards that you kind of expected would be playable, but they're playable, but you're not happy that you're playing them. You're certainly not happy to be playing them, and they weren't nearly as strong as you expected them to be, like Living Tempest and all of those. I guess Risen Riptide turned out to be pretty good just because it was a blocker most of the time. But still, it kind of only fit in the kicker deck. You're not happy to be playing a 3-mana 0/5 wall unless it's also going to be able to turn into a 5/5. I mean, I totally underestimated the power of Seafloor Stalker at the beginning of the format, because it turns out, even if you're not running party, just having the mana to make this thing unblockable and attack every turn is pretty good, and it can put a game away. But yes, I guess I like formats where stuff like Gul'Draz Mucklord is actually like playable and still works okay. But I felt like quite a few cards in this format that were designed with the intention of being playable. And I guess some people could argue they were playable, but you didn't have a good deck if you were playing them, in my opinion. You really didn't have a solid deck if you had to throw in some of these non-party oriented cards or non-tribal specific cards. And I didn't really like that feeling. I think I like it where you have archetypes, but there's also non-clearly defined archetypes that you can also draft. And this set kind of felt like that was lacking. It was a little too clear-cut what the archetypes were, and I felt like there wasn't a lot of room to explore outside of those archetypes and still find success. So those are my pros and cons of the format. Thanks for bearing with me for 7 minutes. And we'll move on to the last Zendikar Rising draft video in just a moment here. So thanks for watching for all over 100 drafts. It's funny that I didn't particularly enjoy this format, but this is definitely the one where I've posted the most draft videos for. Moving forward, I plan on having a draft video every day. We'll see how long I can stick with that, but that's the plan. All right, we'll move on to the last draft here and see you in a moment. All right, last draft video. This is a best of one. Maybe I should just do something off the wall for the last draft. Why not, right? This is the last time we'll be playing it, which probably means we take Skyclave Relic, because then we're at least opened up to doing some crazy stuff in all colors. Umaro Wizard is a great card in here. Vanquish the Weak and Rabid Bite, some removal. Thankfully, this pack isn't bonkers. I think it probably would be Umaro Wizard, maybe even over Rabid Bite and Vanquish, just because it's a spell land and pretty good. But we'll take the Relic and assume that we're going to try and do like 3 or 4 color. Maybe we'll get an Omnath passed to us. That would be awesome. If I called shot Omnath on the last draft video, that would be incredible. All right. Follow-up pick to the Skyclave Relic. Could take the Falconer. It's a great card. Can take the Spell Land in Kazul's Fury. I assume since I'm going to be playing 3, 4, 5 color, Spell Lands are going to be valuable. Just because I'm probably going to run a lot of lands, so having access to Spell Lands probably makes sense. Otherwise, Visionary is good too. I mean, Falconer is a bit color intensive. It's probably the strongest card in here. Maybe I'll just take Kazul's Fury though. It's a good spell land. Doubles as removal. You can turn one of your creatures into a fling, and certainly good against Bubble Snare and Nahiri's Binding. Or in response to your removal, I'll just toss it at one of your creatures. That's good too. All right, we'll take the Fury. Pick 3. Wow. Just all this good black removal in here. Otherwise, there's McKindy Stampede. Probably, do I like Thirst or the Deadly Alliance more? I feel like I've asked this before. I mean, this is going to require double black to kill anything. This requires single black. this is uncommon, so does that mean it's stronger? I mean, I like that you only have to pay 1 black to kill things on the low end. Maybe I just play the Thirst. It's also a sorcery, and this is an instant. I mean, these are all kind of relevant things. There is Feed the Swarm too, but I'm kind of putting it between the two that don't cause me to lose life. Maybe I should just assume the Bloodchief's Thirst is better, because it doesn't have the party requirement. Oh no, I'm not moving towards black-red, am I? I'm not going to let that happen. No. What do I want here? Well, Binding is removal, but I don't like that it's double white. Vanguard is just a solid card, but it's not doing much for the long game. There's a Rabid Bite, which is some more removal. Blight Priest, which is Cleric combo card. I don't know. Maybe just take the Blight Priest. Vanguard is a 2-drop and it's a solid one, but Blight Priest is going to have synergies with more cards in the format that have lifelink, whereas Vanguard probably a little bit less so. Well, there's Thundering Spark Mage now. I feel like we're starting to go down that black-red path here. I could take the Hazard. That way it doesn't really require me drafting party so much. I mean, at worst, it's a 4-mana 2/2 that deals 1 to a creature, which isn't bad, but not great either. Maybe we'll just take the Hazard, get another spell land. Guess I don't know what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something exciting, though. Like, Royal Mage is actually good. Royal Mage is cool because I've already got some good spells to bring back, ways to ramp into the Kicker. So Kicker with fixing and ramp does actually make sense to me. But there is a Shadow Cat in here, which is good. Fissure Wizard, 2-drop. Silencer for party. I think I've got an idea here with the Royal Mage. We'll figure something out. Like, now I can take Geyser Mage, there's Blood Beckoning, and there's Salundi Vision. Vision would give us another spell land. Maybe I go down that path for now. It is a fairly late Geyser Mage, which is not a bad card. But I think I'll go spell land. Do I just take the spare supplies? There is Stomper to get back spell lands as well. And you can fix off of Relic. I mean, I feel like if I'm supposed to be going multicolor, base green probably makes some sense. All right, let's take the big finisher and Stomper. Assume we're going to be playing a ton of spell lands that we'll want to get back. So we can take base camp, but currently just a Merfolk and a Cleric that we can actually play off of it. But then again, there's not much else in here. So we'll assume maybe party's going to work. Well, Spring Mantle Cleric makes sense if we're doing a million colors. We already have base camp and Relic, so this is actually a good card to have if we're doing all these colors. Plunder maybe makes sense. Could take the McKindy Stampede. Or could just take the Sky Dancer. I have to figure out what my base colors are. Maybe I'm base Jund? I'm going to take the Sky Dancer. So I can take Deliberate. I can take Ambusher. Only have 2 red cards currently, and they're both spell lands. So maybe I take the Cleric in case I need a block with the 2-drop. Take the Trap. All right, let's focus on what is it, Sultai. So we can take the Baloth here. This is at least a fun explosive card to play that I never really was interested in the entire format, just because it was so expensive. But if we already have Skyclave Relic and we're in green, potentially going to be able to ramp I'm okay with it. It's a reasonable rare to try and play. Bubble Snare, good removal. Royal Eruption, good removal, but yeah, we'll go rare Baloth. We'll go try and do like a ramp fatty thing. Swarm Shambler here. There is Moss Pit Skeleton. And there's Black Bloom Rogue. Could be Black Bloom Rogue. We're going to have to play a lot of lands, and I'm okay playing a lot of spell lands, so maybe just take that. Swarm Shambler, playable card, not terribly exciting. Let's take the Rogue. Get the spell land. Undo Inversion. Well, it's going to be tough to play that. Could take the Field Research, get some card draw. There's Subtle Strike and a Marasa Brute. No fixing. Our base colors might be Simic colors, so maybe we're taking Field Research. Maybe we're doing Kicker. I could see that. All right, another chance to get the Spring Mantle Cleric. Into the Royal, probably better. It's got Kicker as well. And there's a good chance we wheel. Well, are we going to wheel the Cleric? No one likes green, and Cleric's pretty specific. I think we can wheel Cleric. I think it's a decent chance. We got our last Cleric pretty late. And if we don't, it's not the end of the world. Well, Visionary is very good. Stalker is also very good, and Squid is a nice solid 2-drop to help me live to the late game. I probably need the Squid, though I want the Visionary, just because I need to get some cheap stuff if I want to live. So maybe we just assume we're going to be doing some sort of kicker-based plan. Okay. Colony Ambush in here. Or we take another Squid. It's kind of hard to go wrong with Squid. It beats down or it blocks. It's a card I kind of avoided for being boring the whole format, but now I think it actually kind of makes some sense. Well, Coveted Prize is a fun one, but we don't have anything insane to find, nor do we really have... I mean, I guess we have Rogues, Clerics, Wizards. No Warriors, really. Probably just take the Cleric. I mean, it makes sense if we're going to play 3-color. Yeah. Could do Adventure Awaits. There's no kicker here. Could do Deliberate. Helps us find things so we don't die. I think Deliberate probably better than Adventure Awaits. Scale the Heights. Ramps. I never really played that card much. I'm not sure if we have enough party-based stuff to do Silencer, but I'll consider it. Don't really need any of this. Wildfire, but red is basically just a couple spell lands in our deck, so it's probably not happening. Guess we can take the Vampire. It's our first warrior. So we can also do like a party-based thing. Here's another warrior. Okay. It's best of one, so... Could be like Simic Beatdown, too. Okay. Didn't find any green fixing either. Well, blue-black lets us at least go... Probably need to do that to get access to our black. There's also a Deadly Alliance in here, which is quite good. Do we need to play black? I mean, we don't have to. It's just, basically, it's going to help with our clerics. The third cleric didn't wheel, but honestly, 2 is probably enough. It's also Into the Royal, which has kicker, reclaim, define lands. But, I mean, we can also just play Pathway as a way to make our clerics better, and it's a free card in the deck. Possibly as good. We'll find out. So I can take Feed the Swarm here, but Vine Gecko at least get some kicker synergies going. That kind of makes sense to me. Although it would have made the Deadly Alliance better than the Blood Chief's Thirst, because getting double black's going to be challenging. But that's okay. For now, I mean, I think we're focusing on Simic. And we'll figure out what we're doing from there. Horn Beetle for counters. Bubble Snare, probably just the snap pick here. Removal with Kicker. It's going to have good synergy. Yeah, I'm on board with that. Okay, here, another squid. There's also Might of Marasa, but I'm actually going to take the squid. I think we're in need of more creatures, and I might just play a squid beatdown deck. So Pack Beast for party, but probably just take the colony, 2-drop with upside. And at this point, I think we have actually, without even super going into it, a pretty solid just Simic beatdown deck that can basically run some fixing in Pathway, Base Camp, some other stuff. Can take the Ascetic here or the Blight Blade. Kind of okay taking the Ascetic, although we have a lot of expensive stuff already. Can take the Seer. There's a Zendikar. I mean, Zendikar can beat down. The Seer makes the Chilling Trap more playable. Don't have a ton of wizards. Don't really have a ton of party stuff in general, though. But I suppose we can take Seer. It might actually work here. Survivor. Another 2-drop beater. Alright, the Sentinel is probably okay. It's got Kicker. Ascetic number 2, sure. I think we've got enough top end. But we have a lot of early game too, so it all works out. Probably don't need this. Probably don't have enough wizards for this. I think we're going to end up removal light. We have removal, but they're kind of in the other colors. And unfortunately, we did not get Omnath, which is kind of understandable. It's a mythic, and I really didn't see Omnath pop up all that much, if I'm being completely honest. All right, so we got... Wait, we only got one spell land now? Jeez, that didn't work out. I mean, we have a bunch of spell lands, but they're in other colors. Let's see. How many creatures is this? 19. Got a lot of top end. Can cut Deliberate, probably. Probably don't need all this top end. Can probably cut an Ascetic. This would be 18 lands, which is fine. We still have a lot of top end. We have the Relic to ramp. Vine Gecko ramps into kicker cards. So this only costs 9 instead of 10 to kick. How many actual kicker cards did we get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's not a million, but it's not bad either. I mean, I probably didn't get enough fixing to splash a third color anyway, but at least Pathway is more action for the Spring Mantle Cleric, and the base camp is, as well as is the Skyclave Relic, so... Well, I wanted to do something a little more fascinating than this as my last draft video, but I think this is going to have to be it. A proper send-off, a kicker deck with pretty dead even colors. We do have double green here, triple green, I guess, for kicker. Double blue here, double blue here. So the double blue, probably pursue a little more vigorously. I could throw a random rogue in there. It doesn't really make sense to me to do that. Could splash a silencer off a Pathway and a base camp and a relic. And we have Wizard, Warrior, Cleric, no rogues. So Silencer would be the rogue. I could. It's an actual way to remove things in this deck, which this deck otherwise does not have. I probably don't even need to run a Swamp. Like I could... Do I want to run a Silencer over a Stomper? I mean, Stomper's not really that good in here. Besides being a 6-mana 6/5, it doesn't actually... doesn't do that much with... I mean, we're short enough on removal where I think it probably makes sense. Can do the Silencer. Don't even really have to run a Swamp, because we have, yeah, Pathway, Base Camp, and Relic. So 3 ways to play it. That's not bad. And it's our only rogue, so it does synergize with all of the other class cards in our deck. Okay. I guess that makes this deck a little more unique. And then we're dead even on green and blue, so probably running the extra blue, even though we need triple green technically for Baloth. I'd be surprised if we got up to triple green mana. So wait, this is 9, 8, and I guess this counts as black sometimes too. And this can fix for how many cards in our deck? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Actually, not as many as I thought it could, but that's okay. Not a terribly exciting deck, but that's been about my experience with this format. Not a terribly exciting format for me, personally. So why not end on a not terribly exciting deck? I guess it's got some interesting things going for it, but we'll see what we can do with it. We'll run it like this. We'll see you round 1. It actually occurs to me, I probably shouldn't even run this Lundy Vision. This can only find instants and sorceries. And what do I have? 1, 2 in the whole deck? Yeah, I'm never going to cast this. I'd rather have an untapped land. So we got 0 spell lands? Oh no. That's not great. I don't think I want to do the Black Bloom Rogue. If I'd picked the Deadly Alliance, there would have been an argument to maybe go the Black Bloom Rogue, Deadly Alliance splash route. I mean, you can play the Rogue off a base camp and a Relic, but at the end of the day, it is just a... I mean, a 3-mana 2/3 Menace isn't bad, and potentially a 5/3 Menace is quite good. It does have random synergy with like Cascade Seer, but ultimately I don't think it's worth it. So, all right. Yep, this is it. Run it like this. We'll see you round 1. Well, this is a good hand. We get to go Gecko into Relic into potentially turn 4 Ascetic. That's not bad. I can cast this for 5 mana too, if I want to get ambitious. Yeah, like I can play the Brute here and go Beatdown. Yeah, you know what? I think I'm going to do that. All right, Bubble Snare. Don't quite have the mana to kick it, though. So I guess we can cast this. How do I feel about attacking with both? Kind of okay with it. See which one they trade with. And if they don't, I'm happy to deal 5 damage too. I just don't like the idea of staying back here. I mean, I'd almost prefer them to trade with the Brute, but if they trade with the Gecko, we're still okay. I guess Royal Mage, it's not like Royal Mage can do anything anyway. Barely can do anything in this deck anyway. We only have 2 instant sorceries. Turns out the attack worked out. I probably could have sequenced my turn a little bit better, but I wasn't planning on attacking. If they're not blocking, they must be attacking, right? Okay, that makes more sense. Squid, so I can go squid, squid. Sounds good. Could have the +2/+2 to eat our Brute. Or practice tactics? Is that what they're going to do? Okay. Sure. And they want to trade, huh? Well, I'm okay with this. Surprised how much we've done with so little mana. Oh, well, I don't need the black man anywhere because I have the relic. So let's just... It's also indestructible, so it's not going anywhere. So let's just go for the... No, that's actually not right. We want to do black because... Well, yeah, we want to do black because of the Spring Mantle Cleric. So we play our land so we can attack. Sure. They have 1 card left. Gnarly Colony's a good rip. So we'll play that. So we can kick a Royal Mage, we can... We can force them to block the Ascetic. They probably just block with the Hellhound. I can... What happens if I attack with everything? It means they have to block 2 things. They can block with the Hellhound, and then they can block with the Protector. And then they have 2 attackers. But I'll have a Royal Mage to block. I think we just attack with the Colony and the Ascetic. And then I play the Royal Mage. I guess they have a decent double block, though. But they could also lose their Warrior. Can also just attack with Ascetic. And this doesn't leave them great crackbacks. If I attack with Colony, they can just block with Protector and Ambusher, and it's not a great trade for me. Whereas if I attack with Ascetic, it's actually a decent attack. All right. I can play the Royal Mage as just an extra body on the board. I think I do. I can't get anything back from my yard anyway. And I sandbagged land for the squid attack next turn. I guess that can block my Royal Mage. Base camp doesn't do that much. I think we just attack with the Ascetic again. And I'm willing to take my 2-for-1 now. So that's good with me. I'm playing the base camp in case I rip the clerics, because they're huge if I do now. So now I can attack with everything. See how they block. All right. Guess I could have. Guess I could have bounced that before attacks, but then I guess they would have been able to double block the colony. Well, somehow we win this game, which is pretty cool. So we'll see you for the next one. All right, we can keep this. No actual green mana, but when we find our green mana, this hand's good. Oof, maybe not with that draw. Ah, that's a good rip, actually. We're definitely not waiting to kick that. Oh, I'm okay with that. I mean, I could wait to kick the relic, but it's 6 mana? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I want to play a big dude next turn. And if we rip a green mana, it's huge. Ah, Ascetic. I wonder if I bait out removal. Probably not. I mean, I guess it might actually be worth it to bait out removal, because I'm still gaining life off the Ascetic. And if they don't have removal for that, I could rip a green mana, and then this is even bigger. So I mean, we're a green mana away from casting Bailout, so maybe I do just Bubble Snare here in case they have removal. It also would... I mean, if I rip a green mana here, I can just slam the Bailoff, so it's probably worth it. Yeah. Well, our average non-land top deck has to be pretty good. Oh, they're attacking too. Well, that's cool. Ooh, that was a great draw. Let's kick this. Oh yeah, that's gonna hurt him pretty bad. So we'll bounce the Adept so we can draw more cards, basically. This doesn't have trample? You know, when I pay 7 mana, kind of expect to get trample. So we can do Seer first. I mean, we can play everything this turn, so I think, right? 4? Yeah. I don't know why they're tapping all my blue, but I suppose it doesn't matter that much. Alright, so we can get rid of the land. Definitely keep the Cleric. Play land. Play a Riptide. Play a Squid. And... I want to pass here. Yeah, probably pass. So, play the land so we can attack with the Squid. Attack there. It's a bit of a surprising block, I guess. It's got 2 lethal creatures. That's pretty good. So attack with both. They probably double block the Baloth. Yeah, I mean, we definitely attack. So they have Dauntless Unity is my guess. The card they drew. But even that... Oh, I guess that makes more sense. I think it actually makes more sense to put the counter on the Riptide. Because then with a kicker spell, Riptide's at least lethal. All right, we'll see you for the next one. All right, we can keep this, I guess. Not an amazing hand, but certainly keepable. That was a good draw. Let's do the Seer. Maybe find a green mana for next turn. Or a Skyclave Relic, yeah. Yeah, that works, actually. Still, I'm not going to be able to kick it, I don't think. Although if I do, let's see, 6. I'd still be one shy of kicking the Bailoff, so I'd probably just next turn go Relic Brute, which seems okay to me. Then we're just a green mana away from the Bailoff. Only deals 2. All right. That was a good draw. Really? Okay. Wow. All right, we'll see for the next one. All right, it's a keep. I mean, this hand needs more lands, but if we rip lands, we're looking pretty good. Forgot we kept a Stomper in here. We also have 18 lands, I think that also helps. I played the Colony on turn 2 to stay busy, but also because I want to have something that trades with Blightblade, so that to me makes sense. I guess we can attack here. And I think we'll drop the Brute. We're still a ways away from the other action in our hand anyway, so... Oh, that's a good draw. Unfortunately, I can't go Relic Survivor. So I probably just go Survivor. And I guess I'm kind of putting all my eggs in one basket, but I get to deal more damage, and I have a 4/4 here, which is actually kind of good. I suppose now they can trade. It's okay. Now we'll chill. No attacks. Well, that was unexpected. Well, guess we'll attack for 4, see what they trade with, and I just... Oh, I suppose I still need double blue, don't I, to cast Bubble Snare? Well, guess we hang out. So if I'd kept it back, I guess I might have been able to double block a Felidar. Might have been pretty dangerous with 6 open mana, though, and 4 cards in hand. Let's see here. Let's see here. We'll just snare that. I guess we just die to a land, though. Yeah. So I guess if I'd played Seer, it would have made better use of mana. I would have taken 8. Bought myself at least a turn, though. All right. We'll see for the next one. Let's see here. Yeah, this is fine. Don't have a 2-drop, but field research. Can draw some stuff. Maybe find the green mana for that Spring Mantle Cleric. There's our green mana. Oh, wait. Did I say green mana for Spring Mantle Cleric? I had plenty of green mana in my hand. Maybe I'm tired. I don't know what I'm talking about. So field research into Seer, into Cleric. Seems okay. Okay. So I guess we can snare the Stalker. Then I can't play the Squid unless I rip another land here, huh? Well, I guess that's not the worst for me. Alright, well that was a good rep, so now we can at least play Brute. For 2. I think we actually probably snare the Stalker. I mean, they have to pay to make the Stalker unblockable. The Stalker can block the Survivor. Ah, whatever. I'd rather make them pay, I guess. So we got our 5th land, which means we probably do the... I mean, we have some choices here. We can do the Seer, scry for 2, or we can do the Cleric. And we probably need to do the Cleric to have a better blocker. It's just kind of an underwhelming Cleric, I think. We may bounce. I mean, I could bounce a land, but next turn we probably go Seer Squid, so I guess we don't need to bounce a land. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed the format with me, folks. This will probably be the last Zendikar Rising draft video I ever do. Overall, I personally didn't like the format very much, but I'm glad to hear some people did. I'm glad some people enjoyed it. I think there were some positives to take away from Zendikar Rising, and I'm thankful for that. I do hope to see some more more spell lands pop up in the future. I think even if they keep it to a little bit of a minimum, just maybe a random uncommon or a rare here and there, I'd be totally cool with that. If they made it like an evergreen thing that occasionally popped up, it doesn't have to be like a full-fledged all over the format thing. I think that would actually go over really well, and it would still be pretty cool, and it could help mitigate flood and screw and stuff like that. All right, well, I'll see you tomorrow for the Kaldheim premiere. We'll see you then.